is actually working.
Hello.
Yes, and I am joined by our latest champion, the master of the bread, Lyrese.
That's true. That's true.
So, since both of us are quite tired, we'll try to keep things on course. So looking through your deck list, I noticed you did not bring your usual one-turn heal.
Yes.
You heard my
I wanted to do
prayers.
that at the beginning. I wanted to do that, but two reasons prevented me from doing so. The first is that for some reason I had a bad feeling about it because I knew the many decks would run either control counters or aggressive mid-range, which are very hard to deal with OTH. And the second reason is that I knew you wouldn't like it. I heard your voice in my head, and I wondered, do I really want to bring this, knowing that Fuzzy will hate me for that? And at the end, I said no, I can't do that and not be disgusted by myself. So I finally chose to bring something else, even if at the end my lineup is still very controlled and slow. But at least it's not OTH, I believe. But well, Nef Burning Rage still. It's cool. Burning Rage is not OTH, but it's still very cancerous, and I hope to see it nerfed someday.
We didn't see much of your Burning Rage play. It was mostly the Grand Reunion and the corruption. So you brought the Nepharos. Is Amen just too slow now?
Yes, I tried to play still, to still play Amen after its nerf, but I often felt it was now too slow, and I played corruption control so much, and I didn't have at all the same feeling before and after the nerfs. So I decided to give a try to Advanced Nepharos, which I believe to be more consistent in the meta I expected. How to explain that? I thought there would be many aggressive decks, as I explained before, and against this kind of deck, like the one Wildblade playing final, it's his elves. I thought that Amon would really be far too slow because his ability comes too late in the game anyway.
Yeah. Can't wait 4 more turns for advanced Zash.
For example, yes. And there are also, it's hard to explain without actually playing it, but for example, when I have 3 corruption levels and 5 mana, I used to play Soul Prison and Amon's Hero Power in the same turn, but now I can't because it costs 6 mana and it makes a lot of difference. Not using Hammond's ability when I could usually at the beginning makes a lot of difference, and I'm sorry for my English, but I hope it was understandable.
It's manageable. At least I'm understanding like 90% of it, so that's pretty good.
Okay. Nice.
I mean, it's better than Holyol's English. Have you heard that guy talk? Oh my god.
I've spoken with him. It's true. It's not that easy. It's easier with you.
Yeah, he just talks a little bit too quickly.
Yes.
Let's see what other fun surprise. Oh, the Grand Reunion was the almost want to say the MVP. It was what won the final battle. And a Summoner Druid is an interesting addition to try to push out extra walls.
Oh, it has only 2 walls, so it's not the main card. It's mostly Frost Elementals that I use in early games to reach. because of course Grand Reunion weakness is the early game, and Frost Elemental does a lot to deal with early threats. In particular, again against Wildblade, it helped me a lot to manage his Battlescarred Elder, because at several moments he could have used his hero power to clean on my board, but he would have let alive Treants or Dust Titan, and because of the freeze effect, he could sorry. He couldn't deal with the last creature. I don't know if that was clear. No, I've lost my SF in my head, I think.
No, I mean, it seemed to work well. The walls just held back. The Frost Elemental seems to be also a very important card for the early game.
Yes. It's close to be the first proper creature you can play in GR. It's your only good defense, and it also combines very well with Unstable Reactor. And of course, Darius Hero Power. And to clean early boards that usual Grand Reunion decks can do. By the way, I have to thank a lot Winriet for that, because to be honest, I took his deck list. I changed a few cards, but his initial version is from him. At the beginning, I had another version of GR that could not have stand the same the match. Some of the matches I won, notably vs Dominion Rage Aggro, where Unstable Reactors did a lot.
All right. I think we've got it pretty much covered. There weren't any like terrible surprises, I guess. Do you think, like, I guess I'll finish with, do you think like Rage Rush can still play the way it used to, or do they have to go more into mid-range now that all their burn is so much more expensive?
I saw some try from players who try to keep the same version of Rage Rush, and it definitely didn't succeed as much as the old version did. Well, I'm happy of that, because I think Rage Rush was very, very painful, but everyone thinks. But I think the last version of Rage are completely justified. And there are still very good decks. Sorry. Mid-range decks, Rage, Pure Rage or Rage Order are very good decks, and I don't think old Rage Rush could succeed now. At least I hope.
Well, I mean, it seems to have made a difference. We saw very few of them in the lineups, whereas previously it wasn't just about everyone's lineup constantly getting banned. So that, yeah, progress. The nerfs worked, and Fireball still was played. Although I noticed Wildblade's deck didn't actually run either Fireball or Symbol. He relied instead on the freezing package to help him remove stuff.
That's very greedy, I think. I understand somehow, because it's through 3 mana Fireball and Symbol with play boost 2 mana. That definitely makes a difference, but not enough to remove it from wedge decks, especially those who tend to control the board. In our match, he wouldn't have made a lot of difference, but I don't think it's completely removing it is a good idea. Maybe playing less, maybe 3 copies of each, but removing it I don't really like that. It's still a good finisher, even if it's not as good as it was in early game. It remains a very powerful um, removal in mid game and late game, and it remains a very good finisher to deal many damages in the face of your opponent in late game. I don't think Wisdom Rage is as good. Is very good without. Excuse me. It's very hard to speak now.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think you get the point.
You meant to say you don't think it can be as good without those cards.
Yes.
Right. Even though they're more expensive.
I don't think. I know it's clearly weaker than it used to be, but I don't think it's enough weak to be removed. Fireball has come from god tier to very good tier, but doesn't mean it has to be removed.
All right.
Symbol of Fire maybe is not that mandatory in Wisdom Rage, but Fireball not. I think it has to be kept.
All right, I think that just about covers it. We thank you for trying despite struggling to get some words out. But hey, it is what it is. We are an international game with many nationalities, and it's amazing in a sense that everybody speaks English, right?
Yes.
Some struggle a bit more than others, but still doable. Again, just look at Holiel. We can somehow understand him.
Well, it's well known, but in France, we are not clearly not the best English speakers. It may look paradoxical, but for a French, I'm still one of the on the top tier English speakers. That's terrible, I know, but compared to many people, I still speak better, and that is right better. I'm better at writing than at speaking clearly.
Well, we are fortunate then.
That's terrible. That clearly. That's many French don't consider English as a valuable language. And think French is the best language. Why we would learn something else,
French is also a very strange language, where like every letter is silent.
Yes, a lot of silent letters come from Latin, and even now sometimes we wonder, but why do we keep these letters? Why do we should keep all these letters that are not spelled? But well, it's a part of our history after all.
I don't know. Though to be fair, English has some things that it could do without too. But who cares? Anyways, thanks everyone for coming. We'll see you in 2 months, not 1, unless
that's
changes.
Long.
Yeah, it is definitely long, but we get more players, we get a bigger tournament, and more money. So well done. Enjoy the payday, and everybody stay safe. It's scary out there, unless you're me, and in which case nothing's really changed. Farewell.